And this is called the anchor taffy. Now I'm just going to show you the pieces of it. And so first of all, you start again into your right leg. But instead of going out sideways, this particular movement is going to start with a forward step. So you do all the preparing pieces of sweeping across and having your hand come underneath, that sweeping hand come underneath. So this is all the same. But now instead of going sideways with your foot, you're going to turn out on your heel, step forward. So this is a combination. And then you want this toe, this foot, to just turn inward just a bit. So with that turning inward, you'll find that it just brings you a little, your whole torso to sink in and drop in a little bit more. So that's the first most distinctive piece about it. So I come up, you might try this with me this time. I sweep in and come into my wind up across to the right. My left heel turns out and steps forward, and as that toe falls in, as I turn on my heel, you can see there's just a little bit more of a turning inward. It's kind of like a corkscrewing in and down that happens. And then that's the setup for the movement. Now, as I come forward, I let this hand open just as I would normally, and the back hand, the right hand, is anchoring down like this. You can see how I've come forward about this much. And as I get to the front part of my sweep, I start slowly coming back, and that frees up this foot. I stay on the heel, and you can see that it starts to allow my leg to turn out, my left leg to turn out, and therefore my hand can go further. Right? So if I'm up here, and if I start coming out, there's a limit to how far I can go. So now I start coming back, I'm anchoring with my hand, my back hand, my right hand, and I can turn outward and let my hand turn out somewhat. And now my foot comes back. As I go forward, watch what happens with this back foot is it stays on the ground. And that's the anchor part. So it's not like one of those usual forward back motions where the back heel gets lifted. It anchors you. And so it limits how far you're going to go forward. So let's try that again. I come sweep, turn on the ball of the foot, foot comes out and falls inward. I come forward, and my heel, my back heel is staying on the ground, my hand is anchoring on the right side down to it, and as I come across here and start to come back, I go onto the heel of my foot so my toe turns out, and that brings me up and back. So that's the first part of the anchor taffy. Then it has a part 2 to it, which is it completes the sideways motion. So we drop it one more time, sweeping in toward the right with the left hand. So you're going into your wind up. This time you step out sideways and you come across and finish as you normally would with that right hand and foot coming up and in. So then we do the same thing the other direction. So your right hand sweeps across, you sink into that left leg. Then your right foot comes forward, falls across, turns inward on the heel, inward, and which brings you just a little bit more into the movement. Forward leading with that right hand, and then at the point where you just reach a limitation where your back foot on the ground, heel on the ground, limits how far you can go forward without you leaning forward. Then you're at the apex, and as you start to come back, the weight goes onto the back of your heel, of that forward foot, and so your hand, your whole body can turn out more, and then you close while this hand comes up and closes, and now you're going to come across into your basic taffy. So you wind up again with your right hand, sink, step out sideways, and come across. Now you're going to bring this back foot up and in, this left foot up and in, and close. So basically you're doing an L shape, right? You're kind of sinking in, stepping forward. Then as you come in, this is your kind of forward motion part of the L coming back. You close, quite separate that way. Then you do the base of it coming across the bottom and close again. Turn, step forward, let the toe fall in, come forward with it, and then as you start to come back, it allows space for that toe to turn out, come in, sink, sweep, across, and close. So then if we put that together with the hand motions, sweep into the wind-up, turn on the ball of the foot, step forward, let the toe fall in, which allows you to just sink in just a little bit more. Forward, unwinding, or sorry, opening up your hands. So as you come forward, that lead hand opens up the left, the right hand anchors at the back. Then as you start coming back, that toe can lift, so it allows you to turn out a little bit more, and in you come. Sink just a bit and get ready for coming across now with your basic Taffy across to the left. And bringing that foot up with your right hand and close. So then you just got to go back the other direction, right? So now we sink into the left and bring our right hand across in the wind-up. Step across to the right, and across you come. Oh, sorry, we're going to the forward step, right? Rewind that. Yeah. So you come across, sink, turn on the heel, forward, and forward you go, turning on the heel as you start to come back and close. Wind up. Now you're coming to your basic Taffy.